can eat type of buffet situation.
Ooh.
And I bet you anything there's going to be some type of pickled cuisine there.
I would hope so, because that's the name of the game today. I mean, heck, call it name of the game. Shakespeare. You talk about prose, we talk about Shakespeare. Shakespeare coined a phrase in a pickle a long time ago in a 1611 play called The Tempest, where he said, "How camest thou in this pickle?" To which Trinculo responds, "I have been in such a pickle since I saw you. I said, I fear me, will never out of my bones." I don't know that phrase, by the way. It was on another screen, so I used that. And there you go. Shakespeare coined the phrase in a pickle. So he wrote prose. He's one of the greatest writers, I believe. So I don't know. I don't know much about writing.
Nito, actually something else I want to point out for the opposing team of Per Pixel Inc. Per Pixel Inc. had a 3-0 against Luminescence yesterday during the Swiss stage, and Luminescence is finding themselves in the alpha bracket right next to them. So that's always an interesting result to kind of see. Luminescence, though, getting knocked down into the loser side of things by No Stick players. No Stick players now going against Low State. Hold on, I can't see the whole name. Los de Apeso.
Los de Apeso.
Is that something the cash, the peso, I haven't studied Spanish in so long, Nito. If you don't use it, you lose it, folks. Much like if you don't use your pickling knowledge to ferment your foods, if you don't use it, you lose it. So make sure you always practice language if you are practicing language. Nito, the comp on Per Pixel Inc. I love a well-string and umbrella.
I love Pixel Per Inc. because I actually saw them yesterday. We all saw them yesterday. We were on part of the day one stream. But we're seeing them right now. This is something I wanted to point out at the beginning here. They're such an interesting lineup here. I mean, you see the recycled umbrella right now. That's a weapon you don't see often. A wellspring, another weapon you don't see often. And then you've got your regulars here, the S-Blast, the Splash. But Pixel Per Link knows their comps so well. They make it work so well. I'm glad that everyone's going to be able to see it here. But FunPB currently the team to watch right now.
Yeah, FunPB having Gumshoe jump in here with the tent is huge. Look at that, clearing the way. The Vac is also going to come out, totally holding down the left-hand side here. But Robin is going to clean things up with two different picks coming out with that stamp and going to use Wellstring to their advantage to drop some paint down. The jumps are going to come in from FunPB with the tent also defending. Phenomenal defensive tactics by Gumshoe. You really got to hold it down if you have your folks jumping in, and you know that you can have the space to defend them, but still it's going to be FunPB all the way down, holding on to zone here. No penalty in sight, Nito.
Yep, and there's still no loss of the zone in sight either for FunPB. Pixel Per Link just trying to find all the ways they could to get themselves in. Gumshoe, though, holding things out. This is a rather aggressive 10 umbrella that I'm seeing here from Gumshoe. Not something I see too often. And somehow doesn't get hit by that stamp throw. That is incredible here. Puts the ink back right in the face of Pixel Per Link. And that is one heck of a way to ensure the KO for your team.
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out, according to seeding, FunPB is the number 2 seed currently in this tournament right now. Pixel Per Inc. being seeded 32. So really phenomenal standing ground for Pixel Per Inc. They're kind of the underdog moving through this alpha bracket according to seeding right now. And going 1-0 so far against FunPB. That's okay. That's okay. We got to regroup, putting themselves in the counter-picking scenario. Perhaps this is where you want to be, where you want your advantage to be. Maybe Pixel Per Inc. Splat zones is not quite the best opening for them potentially. And so doing something different here, maybe trying to change the counter-pick and flip the script a bit, this could be a really advantageous spot for them to be in. But Nito, I think that if FunPB just kind of locked it down really early on in the game there. I mean, not to say that Pixel Per Inc. didn't get any points on the board, because that's certainly not the case at all. We at least almost got past 40 points for a short time there. So definitely the tools for success are on the table here. However, I think that the more serious case is that FunPB was able to kind of lock it in on their spawning ground pretty quickly, and kind of just toppled from there. So looking ahead, I think what are kind of the keys for success for Pixel Per Inc. if you want to try to turn this around?
One of the more unfortunate parts of Pixel Per Link is that you did only have the Wellstring and the Splash that could paint reliably for you. I mean, you're going up against the teams that their weapons were able to hold whatever control of the map they had so well there, to where any drop that Pixel Per Ink tried to make just didn't work out too well. So Pixel Per Ink could use a little more, could use some more ping, and I do want to see who they have active, because you did have a Duel Links player, Manny Panny, that I saw yesterday, and they have all the keys that they need there. I would also use that player a lot, maybe just other players on your team, just to make sure you can make sure you're engaging fun PV in a way that you will ensure a 2v1 will happen at some point. I feel like there's too many things going on either side. Anytime I look at a screen, there's too many things going on either side. So, okay, this is interesting. Tower control ship-shaped counterpick yet again. This is the second time we've seen this today, Seth.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there is a pattern here. And perhaps, Nito, it's what I alluded to earlier. There could be so many different cargo containers here with different things that have been pickled. And I'm wondering if Pixel Per Ink was like, hold on, let me get a closer look at that again. We didn't get to spend enough time there to kind of search the ship for the cargo that contains the pickled goods. So let's try to return it back here, and tower control keeps us at a consistent pace. For doing just that. We don't have to rush it like Rainmaker. We don't have to try to throw a bunch of stuff around like we do in Clan Blitz. We can really just take our time with this one. However, I like, once again, like I was saying, moving forward against Fun PB, I think Pixel Per Ink is really going to have to lock down defensive maneuvering here, because once Fun PB was able to topple the defense, it was kind of game over in curtains for Pixel Per Ink. So we still have the Tenterella. We are bringing out the Dreadringer and Meat Boy. That is a Clash Blaster, Nito.
Oh my goodness, noob tube, as I like to call one of many noob tubes you'll see in this game, but there has to be something that Fun PB is planning with this. If you're going to go for weapons that cover their own space very well, why not bring out a blaster? Why not bring out the Clash Blaster? The Clash Blaster paints or shoots out so fast that anything Meat Boy tries to approach, you have to make sure you keep that distance with them. Well, speaking of distance, we have this Trizuki here from Meat Boy. Doji able to cover that. Boy, bring it over, by the way, but they're going to be 2v1 there on the corner there. That's a wipeout for Fun PB. Fun PB is a fun team to watch, actually, and I'm starting to see why they went undefeated, completely undefeated in day one.
Yeah, they certainly are telling us how that day one went. Entering into day two here, you have Gumshoe standing on the tower with the back. Jodek is going to try to round from the backside, though, and actually try to maintain their distance, causing some distractionary measures against Pixel Per Ink. But Nito, it wasn't quite enough. I mean, it was a speedy recovery coming from Fun PB. They want to close it out right now. Finally, another 2-0 situation. Entering into the third round here, Pixel Per Ink getting knocked down to the loser side of things. And like I said, Pixel Per Ink was kind of the underdog in this situation. They're the lowest seed that has made it into the alpha bracket stage here. So they're going to have to try to fight their way back up through once again on the loser side of things. Fun PB going to be moving on.
That's really interesting, because there are matches that happen on any stream where you will watch it, look away for 1 second, and all of a sudden the whole thing's over. Fun PB, whenever you see a game like that, it happens so cleanly that you don't notice something's actually happening on the screen there. Fun PB just closed everything up from Pixel Per Ink so well. It's like they were literally closing their curtains on them. Pixel Per Ink has to go for some random play where they try to send someone on the outside. In that case, it was a splash. See what they can do with that. Hope they can get somebody off the tower, because otherwise you're not getting out of the control Fun PB had there. And that's what we saw. That was incredible work there from Fun PB, to the point where I almost didn't notice it. If I hadn't been paying attention, I would have been like, all right, bye. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was sweating a little bit for Meat Boy at the one perspective we had of them when they were trying to launch Trizuka at the recycled Brella, and I love that they broke the shield twice, but like still, recycled Brella was